All right, folks, here we are with, it's been a minute, but we're back with a rundown episode. Brandon, what's going on?
Oh, not much. Just glad to be here. It's a good time.
It is. I think we got a pretty fun one for us. For people that are new to the rundown, this is a little more kind of our topic driven, going to be a little shorter theme or shorter episodes than, the typical ones can run, even up to 3 hours. But, these are kind of topics, and got a pretty fun topic for us on this one, I think. So for people tuning in, actually first, if you're watching this on YouTube, do us a favor, hit the like button or the thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends. This is and this would be a good topic of conversation, I feel like, for a lot of people tuning in.
I actually, while I was trying to think about it today, I asked a few guys at work. I was like, don't think too hard on it. Just fire right off the top of your head. And it was kind of fun asking people that at work.
There you go. Yeah. Were you surprised with the answers, or were they kind of what you expected?
A couple of people were like, man, I don't know. I'd have to think about it for a minute. I'm like, I can't just fire them off right off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I've been thinking about it. And like I said, ever since we kind of came up with this idea, and also, real quick, if you're tuning in on the podcast audio version, leave us a rating and a review, and it just helps out a lot, guys. And share it, as always. Again, we want to hear what y'all think of this. When we drop this episode, let us know if you hate our lists. So we've been alluding to it. It's the top 5 action films of all time. Now, you said you arranged yours even from 1 to 5. I just couldn't do it. Mine is just the total top 5.
Yeah. I kind of sat. I had a lull at work today, so I sat and kind of arranged them, which I will use this now to give a disclaimer that I arranged this from 1 to 5, but tomorrow that 1 to 5 could be completely different, because it was kind of hard to nail those down from 1 to 5. Just, it was really 5 movies that I like.
Yeah, that's how I said these are my 5. And so we'll go on and roll into it, because we're gonna have sounds like we might have a topic of debate on one of them. I
think we will.
So go ahead, and I guess you start with your number 5 and share yours, and then I'll share one of mine, since I can't necessarily pick them down to, like I said.
Well, I'll also give another disclaimer, because
save the honorable mentions for after.
Yeah, not necessarily honorable mentions. There's a couple movies that I was like, man, I really like this movie, and I guess you could kind of consider it an action film, but they probably more belong in a different genre. So just a disclaimer to that. But my number 5, I picked Indiana Jones.
Okay. Yeah,
which might not be your typical action movie. I guess you'd maybe say that's more of an adventure movie, but
it's action. Which one?
Really, all of them, but I guess the first one, Raiders of the Lost Ark, is probably my number 1 Indiana Jones movie, but I love all of them. I even liked the one everyone else hated, the Crystal Skull. I
never watched it.
It wasn't great, but just the child in me was like, I love Indiana Jones. I don't care if this is terrible. I'm going to love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I never saw that one, but I do love Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And that's an action movie. It's very action-packed.
Yeah, there's plenty of action in it.
Yeah.
Temple of Doom it's not bad. I like it, but the one after that, the third one, man, I can't remember. It's the one with Sean Connery.
Shoot.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and it had to do with the Holy Grail.
Did it?
Yeah, they're looking for the Holy Grail.
Well, that's Raiders of the Lost Ark.
No, Raiders of the Lost Ark, they're looking for the Ark of the Covenant.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I can't remember the third one, but I like that one a lot too.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it either, but the Raiders of the Lost Ark is that one. I love it. The classic scene when all of them skin melts off their heads and like explodes and everything. I do love that part. That's like the best scene ever, because it's like,
there's a video on YouTube you should check out
where they've replaced the screens.
They dubbed over all the screens.
Yeah. The guy behind the camera goes, like,
yeah. It's got some really good screams in it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I wish I could remember the name of it. We'd tell people to look it up. Maybe we can find a way to link it in the video description.
Just search Indiana Jones Ark of the Covenant screams, I'm sure you'll find it pretty quickly.
All right, well, mine, man, see, this is hard because I've got 2 honorable mentions, but again, like I said, my top 5, it's really my top 7.
Yeah, you could probably swap out my honorable mentions for any of the top 5.
Yeah, I'm going to put 2, and I got one that people might think is controversial for me to consider it an honorable mention. I'll start with this one, and this one is super easy for me. I'm a huge fan of this movie. Watched it probably 100,000 times when I was a kid. Used to keep the VHS rented, and that is Commando.
I figured that was going to be on your list.
Oh yeah, man!
It is a great movie. There's plenty of over the top action, 80s action in that movie.
People will see a very common theme amongst mine. They're very much so kind of in that category for a lot. I've got a couple in here that they kind of surprise some people, but Commando is definitely one of those, man. It's just iconic. I mean, Arnold was the freaking man in there. He's pissed me off here lately as he's gotten older, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just like, I just love him so much as an older actor.
Are classics. It's typical for Arnie movies, but he's got some good one-liners in that movie.
Oh yeah, he does, man.
I love when he's holding the guy over the cliff and he's like, remember when I told you I'd kill you last? And he's like, yeah, he goes, I lied. And drops.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the one-liners are great. Like when he impales Bennett with the thing and he's like, let off some steam, Bennett. And steam's like pouring out of him. And he's like, oh, like it's like got like a freaking 8-inch pipe sticking through his body.
Yeah. I actually saw a behind the scenes thing on that when he's holding that guy out, whoever it was that directed it thought Arnie would actually be able to hold this guy out with an outstretched arm, which Arnie was like, look, I'm strong, but I'm not that strong. That's a full grown man.
Now he was a little man.
Yeah, but he's still
that's probably a 150-pound guy or something. That'd be some insane shoulder strength to be able to do that. Yeah, I mean, Arnold is the man. He does carry like a tree. In the beginning, he's like cutting trees, and he's got like a full tree, and he's just like walking. It's like a 20-foot long log on his shoulder, but he could do it. He's the Commando.
That's right.
All right, what's number 4?
Let me check because I've already forgot. Number 4. This one. Now this probably is a full-blown action movie, but Dirty Harry.
Oh yeah, that definitely is.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty good. I actually didn't even think about any of the Dirty Harrys.
Yeah, I had to sit for a minute. That's why I've got so many honorable mentions, because I made a list of 5, and then I was like, oh man, I forgot about that movie. That's a great movie too. But yeah, Dirty Harry is a good one. That's got a ton of one-liners in it.
Dirty Harry does have a lot of one-liners in it. I love the part when like they're in the diner or something, and like the woman pours like a pound of sugar in there, and they're like, how did you know that something was going on? He's like, every morning for the past 15 years or whatever he says. He's like, I've been coming in here getting my coffee black. And I wish I could remember his exact line on it.
Yeah, it's something like that. I think that's actually one of the sequels, but
yeah, it may be.
I used to have all of them on DVD. I think there's like 5 of them, which there's no telling where those are right now, but
favorite quote in it. And it can't be "Make My Day."
I was say that's probably number 1. I think it's the second movie when they're getting off the elevator and like the guys are kind of trash talking him because he lost his case or whatever, and I think he says something to one of them. He's like, "Go ahead, make my day." Yeah,
those
packed full of one-liners. That entire series is.
It is, man. I'm trying to remember. I know there's Dirty Harry, Sudden Impact, Magnum Force.
I think Magnum Force was the second one.
And Double Penetration, I think.
Yeah, he has a double barrel 44 mag. I can't remember them. Yeah, Sudden Impact, I think, is like the 4th one. I can't remember the 3rd one.
I can't either. But those are the Dirty Harrys. Those are very good action. Just like I said, these are just iconic movies, man. I mean, like I said, Commando is kind of your iconic 80s. Dirty Harry was probably starting like your iconic 70s.
Yeah.
I feel like, and they got that like real 70s feel
like
to them.
Gritty cop movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those are
Which
those
Clint
are good.
just plays that part perfect too.
He does, man. Those are solid. All right. So my number 4. Okay. See here. I'm gonna check off when I do them because I got 2 honorable mentions. My number 4 is Gladiator.
That was almost on my list, but I knew you were probably gonna have it. But that is a great movie, also.
Yeah, like we actually, one of the things that spurred me to have this discussion is, I'm in a little group chat and we were kind of talking about them, and we were actually doing these movie rundowns, like, you know, name your favorite so-and-so movie, this and that. And one of them was action movies. And I was like, but it had to be action movies that did not have a sequel. And, so I said,
sends that list out a lot.
It does, you know, like, because nobody could say John Wick because there's like 57 of those, or Rambos, or any of them. And so I was like, all right, Gladiator. And everybody was like, that might be the greatest one.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a very, and see, this one and another one on my list, they kind of get to crossing into that territory. As brutally awesome as Gladiator is, it's kind of waiting the line of action with drama.
Yeah.
Because it's a very dramatic film. Like, one that's not on my list, it's not an action movie, but I love the movie, is Legends of the Fall. Like, have you ever seen it?
I don't know if I've ever seen it all the way through in one sitting.
Oh, it's a long movie.
Yeah, it's long.
But it is a great movie.
Yeah.
Like, that movie, I don't consider it an action movie. Like, it's a drama. But, man, it's a great freaking movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to sit down and watch that, because I've heard you talk about it on the show a couple times, and I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen that movie all the way through.
Well, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it just, I don't know, the whole thing, even Marcy likes it. Like, it's a movie, which she probably likes it for Brad Pitt, because he's like young Brad Pitt in his prime.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it's kind of like this iconic movie that represents like all the different, I kind of consider it like the archetypes of men. Because you have the young brother, I think his name is Sam, maybe. Can't remember. I think it's Sam. And then Tristan is Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember the older brother, but he's like, Sam is this like young, naive, like innocent boy, basically. And they go off to war and he gets killed. Brad Pitt's like the wild one. And he's like a straight up like throat slitter in the war.
Yeah.
And then the older brother, he's the very conservative, like businessman, plays it safe. So you kind of have like all these 3 different archetypes. And like most men would either be Sam or the older brother. For some reason, I'm wanting to say Paul, but I don't think that's right. But it's pretty cool to hear them because most men want to be Tristan. And the women all want Tristan. Like in the movie, the women go after Tristan, and Tristan's so wild, he's like never tamed. So like he's horrible to women. Like,
yeah.
Like he's never going to be like a stable relationship for women, but they constantly want Tristan.
I mean, it probably helps to look like Brad Pitt too, though.
It does. I'm sure it does. I mean, and he's got the locks, man, like the long hair, like he looks like a beast in the movie. I'll give him that. But now at one point he does
looks like a wild man.
He does have a huge beard.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's rocking the beard.
Yeah. He's like on a ship or a boat.
I don't have that ability.
Well, we got off on a Legends of the Fall tangent. Check it out. But Gladiator is definitely mine. It's got some freaking awesome one-liners, man. The whole Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Say, yeah, that's the iconic line of that movie.
It is. I used to have back when we would have the CD, like when we still listened to CDs. Yeah. I had the quote where the dude comes walking up. What's his name? Joaquin Phoenix. What's his name in the movie?
Shit, I'd have been able to tell you any other time. It's like Castius or something like that.
Something I can't remember, but it's when he comes approaching and he's like, it's
you will not turn your back on me.
Yeah, he's like, the hero will reveal his helmet and tell us his name, and he's just like, my name is Gladiator, and he's like, slave, you will remove your helmet and tell me your name, and then like he turns around, Maximus Decimus Meridius. He says, commander of the. What does he say?
9th Legion or something like that.
Yeah. Father of the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius, husband to a murdered wife,
Yeah.
father to a murdered son, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. And I had that quote, and then I had Bulls on Parade that would play immediately after. So he would be like, or I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. And then it was like, so it used to freaking pump me up to lift to and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Me too. That would definitely pump me up.
Yes. So Gladiator, that's my number 4. All right. What's yours?
My number 3.
Dirty Dancing.
Now, this one might be on your list, and if it's not on your list, I'm going to be genuinely surprised.
I bet I know what it is, and it's not on there.
What is it?
It's not Predator.
It's not Predator. Not
Predator's your number 1.
Well, yeah, obviously.
All right, so number 3.
Spoiler alert.
What is it?
Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, man.
I knew it.
No, it's not, but I was trying, because I have 2 Arnold films in my top 5, so I think I was trying
There's definitely a pattern in my...
Yes. I was trying to, like, be sparing with the Arnolds, because I was like, all right, I can't let him dominate.
It's hard not to, though. Arnie was in so many action movies in, like, the 80s and 90s.
And we're going to have I got a topic I'm going to write here. When we get to the end, we're going to have a versus and have a debate on who we think, because I know which corner I'm in. And I've had this argument with several people.
Is it going to be Predator versus Terminator?
No.
Okay. That's a debate for another time.
Yes, that'll be a debate for another time. Conan the Barbarian, man, that's a great one.
I was like, man, I'm going to be surprised if it's sitting on Logan's list.
Yeah.
Because that is a legit classic movie.
It is.
Because I think that was one of Arnie's first.
That was, man, I read his biography. I'm like a hardcore Arnie fan. And, I think Conan the Barbarian, he did some really stupid ones. Like he did one
like
called
scare movies or whatever.
Yeah, one was called Hercules in New York, and it was really dumb.
I've seen bits of that. Yeah.
But Conan was really like the first one that like sent him over.
Breakout role, yeah.
Yep. And I mean, it's awesome. He says like 2 words in the whole movie.
Yeah, it's just nonstop killing.
Yep, it is.
Which I mean, I like Conan the Destroyer too, but the original is just, it's the OG for sure. Like that's the real Conan.
Yeah, I mean, and the tenets of life is like awesome. Crush your enemies, see them driven before you,
and to hear the lamentations of the women. Yeah,
that is like the greatest tenets for life. That's really all you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you do?
Yeah, that's like,
that is the epitome of living fully loaded.
Yes, it is.
And I will also add to that I'm a Jason Momoa fan. I like the guy. Like, I see his stuff on Facebook, and I'm like, man, I'd genuinely like to hang out with that guy.
Yeah. I
was disappointed in his iteration of Conan.
Is he the one that played in the new one? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I was like,
it is.
I wouldn't see it.
Okay.
Yeah. Jason is he's an avid listener of the show. Sorry, Jason, but
I like you in just about everything else you've been in, but I was, as a diehard Conan fan, I was a little upset with it.
Yeah. Well, that's how I like, the remake of Red Dawn. I did not see.
I have not seen it.
And I won't. Like, I
heard not good things about it, which I like Chris Hemsworth too.
I do too. That's what I was gonna say. I like him.
But that's one of those movies. It's just, man, it's so hard. Like, they caught lightning in a bottle making that first one, and you're just setting yourself up for failure trying to do it again.
And to try to play in Patrick Swayze's shoes is a deadly. You're already setting up for loss.
Yeah. Nobody can touch the Sways.
Yes. Gang, I got another ad here. All right.
Red Dawn.
No, I thought about it.
I forgot about that one until you said that.
I had thought about it, but I was like, oh man, that's like gonna be if we do like a top 5 for survival or something.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess it's my turn again. Okay. My next one here is Braveheart.
I figured that was going to be on your list.
Could not have it on the list.
Exactly.
And it's another one that, like, it kind of wades the waters of drama and action.
Yeah.
But it's clearly an action. Like, I mean, like you
take breaks from the action to have plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like but I mean, Braveheart, and actually the poster is over there on the table. I got to get it framed so I can put the poster back up. I used to have it up on the wall. You used to
have it like behind you, didn't you?
I think I may have had it behind me, and then I got the Young Frankenstein one as well. But Braveheart, obviously, for people that have listened to much of the show, they know, like, that's pretty much my number one film of all time.
Yeah.
Greatest action film, man. Like, that one's right up there in the top. Mel Gibson's a beast. Like, he's another one. I could have multiple of his on like the top action.
Oh yeah.
I don't have it on the list. I don't even have it in the honorable mentions, and I gotta quit adding to the honorable mentions because it keeps getting longer.
Everyone you said, I'm like, I need to add that. Is it The Patriot?
The Patriot.
The Patriot almost made it to my list.
Yeah.
When we went to Arizona a little while back, I watched The Patriot on our flight, and I hadn't seen it in forever, but watching it, I was like, man, this is a freaking good movie.
Oh, it is, man. And yep, Marcy like Dredd singing it on, or like it catching me because it's
my wife too.
It's gonna be watched.
She's like, this is a 3-hour movie. I'm like, shut up, it's good.
Yes. Oh, the other day I cleaned guns and I had it in here and I got the TV up there and I watched The Patriot while I cleaned guns, and
That's the most American thing ever.
It is. Oh, it is. I was like, this is so patriotic right now. Like, I'm waiting to fart an eagle scream.
Well, if you do that, make sure to record it because I want to see it.
Yes, that would be awesome. But the part whenever he butchers the guy in the creek, and he's, his sons think he's like this pacifist.
Oh, yeah, at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, like after they kill his first son. He kills his son, and he goes and he takes his 2 sons, and they rescue Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Well, when they do that, it's like they all think he's like this pacifist because he didn't want to go to war.
Yeah, and his kids are like crying and stuff.
Yeah.
As they watch him.
Yeah, and then the guy tries to run off, and he like throws the hatchet, and then he goes over there and is just like ruthless. I'm like covered in blood, and he turns around, and he's like covered in blood looking at him, and they're like shitting themselves. I love that movie.
I
so
do too.
Awesome.
You know what part of that movie drives me insane every time I watch it?
Which one? What part?
The Patriot is when he, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this movie from
the movie's been out for 20 years. If they hadn't watched it by now, then they're
this movie, bad. 15, 20 years ago is when Heath Ledger dies.
Why?
You remember? Because he shot the dude, like I think he like shot him off his horse, and he walks up with that knife, and he's gonna like turn him over and like stab him in the chest. I'm like, just shoot him, you dumbass. Like, why do you have to stab him with a knife? Just shoot him.
Yeah.
Just shoot him and be done with it.
Yeah,
he's dead already. Like, why do you have to go do this for good measure? Just shoot him again.
Yeah, I mean, he had him dead to rights, and and he got greedy. He wanted to
cost him his life.
Yeah, he was going to pop his eyeballs out or something.
He was gonna scalp him for a trophy.
Now I would have scalped that guy. Like, I mean,
yeah, definitely. But I'd have shot him again first.
Yeah, no, I'd have let him be alive.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I'd have wanted him to be alive when I scalped him.
I get that, but I wouldn't have wanted any chance of him to, I don't know, grab a flag.
I'd have even put his head. I'd have put his hair on my hair and made him watch.
Put his hair on your head and danced for him.
Yes. That's what I would have done.
You'd have done the scene from
the weird
Silence
serial killer. Yeah.
What'd you do me?
Oh man. So where were we? Oh yeah, Braveheart.
Yeah.
No, Braveheart. Again, common theme, very quotable movie.
Absolutely.
But such an awesome movie, and I mean, it's got all the elements like that apply to a man. It's a dude. And
that lost everything.
And he didn't even really want to go to war. And then the morons killed his freaking woman. He wouldn't let him rape his woman.
What was the guy that did the killdozer? What was his quote? When a reasonable man is pushed to do unreasonable things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That definitely applies to that.
I did watch that Dredd. Did you watch it?
I haven't watched that yet. I need to.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I obviously love that story.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But no, I have not seen that documentary. I need to watch that.
Yeah, it's a good one. Check it out. All right. So Braveheart, that was my third one. What's your third?
I already gave my third. My third was Conan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were one ahead.
Yeah. So my number 2, which this is another one that probably more belongs in another genre, but it's just such a damn good movie, is The Outlaw Josie Wales.
With Clint?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which that has a ton of one-liners in it. Like some of my favorite like Western one-liners are in that movie.
Yeah. That one is, I mean, it's definitely a Western, but we can cut it in there. I mean, Westerns are action movies.
Yeah. That's why I was kind of like, I don't know if I should put this on that list. If we're going to do like a top 5 Western films, or
We will. So let's throw in an honorable mention with that one.
throw in an honorable mention. Let's see.
Because
I have a couple honorable
because we
mentions.
are going to do a Western breakdown.
All right. Well,
So
I can definitely get on that because I Westerns is like my favorite.
Brokeback Mountain is probably your
Yes,
first
that's
one.
my number one movie.
Yeah,
With that
because
new
you are
movie that
gay. Yes.
Sam Elliott was talking shit about. Have you seen that?
Yeah, he's getting smoked for it,
I
man.
know, but
Dang.
I appreciate him saying it.
I do too.
So I'll say an honorable mention, which this one I struggled with because I was like, this definitely should be on a list.
Don't you say another Western.
No, it's not a Western. I was like, this should definitely be on a list, but I've already got 5, and like I can't think of one to pull out. Is Die Hard.
Yep, that's an iconic
That
one.
is a classic action movie. It's
Yeah.
also the greatest Christmas movie.
Can I tell you something wild about Die Hard?
Yes.
All right. I was not, I mean, I like it, but I'm not a huge Die Hard fan. Like, it's a good movie,
Yeah.
but I don't long to watch Die Hard like I do with, well, like I was about to drop a spoiler, but like Braveheart, Gladiator, Commando, I mean, Conan, any of them are on, like I'm watching them. Die Hard, I can really give or take Die Hard. Like
Really?
yeah. I mean, and it's a good movie.
Die Hard that's usually one, especially not making the joke here, but at Christmas time, like TBS will somebody will play it, which I'm like, yes, they're playing Die Hard, and I'm like, my wife's like, oh my god, which I'm like, all right, Die Hard's on.
Yeah. Now I do watch it around Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, Die Hard. Now Die Hard is cool to me because that was Bruce Willis's like big role.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure, didn't it come out before The Fifth Element? Wasn't The Fifth
Ooh.
Element after?
Maybe.
Now see,
I think you might be right. Because I think Die Hard came out in like the early or late 80s. And Fifth Element was in the 90s, I believe, wasn't it?
was it? I thought Fifth Element was in the 80s.
Man, it might have been.
Man, dadgum, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he has been in a ton of movies.
We need a young Jamie. All right, well, he was in a lot of stuff here, but Bruce Willis it was Die Hard.
Yeah, I
All
thought
right.
so.
And, wow, yeah, the Fifth,
1997.
I was going to say the Fifth Element came out a lot later than I thought. He was in Pulp Fiction before that. Dang.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that too.
Well, Die Hard was his role that broke him out. And it's a pretty cool story because, I mean, people listen, they realize, like, I nerd out on the movie stuff.
They had somebody else cast, didn't they?
Well, I think they did, but he was also, at the time, Bruce Willis was working as a bartender in New York. And bartenders in New York City make big cheese. He was like bringing big money in. And he would go to these auditions for these shows and didn't really care if he got them or not. Wanted to be an actor, but was like, if I don't get it, I'm still making a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And so when Die Hard was coming around, he like was just really doing like floundering roles. And so he quit his job as a bartender and was like broke as hell and was like, if I don't get this job, I'm not going to have any money to eat.
Yeah.
And so then he went to Die Hard and was like, I got to get this damn job, and like busted his ass for the job, and he got the job, and the rest is history. I always thought that was pretty cool.
He did the Andy Bernard approach. He burned all his bridges.
Yes.
He took a dump on his boss's car.
Yes, he did. He took a dump on his boss's car. That's right. All right. Okay. My number 2 is Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Yep. It's got freaking Swayze and Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, 2 of them. It's iconic. That movie might be my favorite movie to just watch. Like,
it's been a long, long time since I've seen that movie.
Dude, you owe it to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, you need to watch Roadhouse.
Yeah. There's a reason Peter Griffin quotes it all the time.
Does he quote Roadhouse a lot?
Yeah. You never seen he's like roundhouse kicking everything, just going Roadhouse.
I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Family Guy.
There's a scene he's driving home with his car, and he's driving with his feet, and every time he turns, he kicks the steering wheel and goes, Roadhouse, Roadhouse.
Well, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
It is a great movie. I mean, it's, man, and I'll tell you what, I forgot until I watched it again. One of the recent times I watched it. Man, it's a lot of nudity in that movie. Like,
I don't remember that either.
Dang,
It's been so long ago since I seen it.
It's a lot of boobs in that movie. Like,
yeah. Well, it was 80s movie, right?
Well, that's
right on par with all the others.
I was gonna say it is definitely that iconic 80s feel where it's got like the really, I mean, like, you know, Swayze's like the kung fu master, like he does like I've even sent that to like I sent it to Brandon Lilly one time because we were talking about I'd go walk these pastures just trying to get in shape, and I sent him the video of Swayze doing the little thing where he's like out there in the like doing this kung fu stuff, and I said, this is what I'm doing in the pastures back here, and I was like, imagine if my dad like saw me like out there like shirtless doing this.
I'd say, like, I'd love to see your dad see you do that.
Yeah, he would be like,
what the hell are you doing?
That's exactly what I said. I was like, he would be like, what in the hell are you doing? And but Swayze can pull it off. And so Swayze, you got Sam Elliott's a beast. Sam Elliott has been the same age for like 40 years.
He's like a demigod or something. He just doesn't age.
He doesn't, man. I don't get it. Like, but yeah, it is not a family friendly movie. Like,
no, I do remember that. I think there were some throat ripping in that.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal there in some parts. But I mean, man, I just was like, golly, it's like 10 different pair of honkers in that film. Like, I forgot about it.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
But I think the first time I watched it, it was on like USA or something. So
it
that was
edited.
probably edited out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of how it was. Probably the first time I saw it, and then I watched like, I don't remember if I rented it or if I watched it on like Prime or something, and I was like, good Lord, man. But
which 12-year-old me, the first time I saw that, would probably be pissed off to learn that.
Yeah, I know. I'd been like, man,
like,
come on.
There's tits in this movie?
Yeah. So Roadhouse is my number 2. So I already know what your number 1 is.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
You already knew.
Yeah.
It's Predator.
Yep.
Predator to me is like the all-time iconic 80s action movie. And like, I think that because like you said, if you wanted to have a list for top survival movies, it could be on that list. If you wanted to have one for sci-fi, it could be on that list.
It could, yeah.
For one-liners, it could be on that list.
Yeah, a couple we can't say on air here, but I wish we could.
Yeah. It's just a classic movie to me that I've seen like 700 trillion times probably.
Yeah. That, man, even in the music, I love the music.
Yeah, it's got great music too.
That like little drums thing, like even that fires me up.
Yeah, like we were talking about when we went and saw the Batman the other night. We were talking about like they did a good job with like building suspense with the music.
Yeah.
Predator gets that like on point.
Absolutely.
Like, it builds suspense with the music really well.
Didn't the guy, was it John? What's the famous dude for doing the one-liner stuff? They actually based in the movie The Big Lebowski, the guy that's got the glasses,
John Goodman.
John Goodman's character is based off of this guy. Didn't he write The Predator? Wasn't he the guy that did The Predator? You know what I'm talking about? He did.
I don't know.
He's done like, he was an iconic like 80s one-liner guy. He was a big gun guy, and John something was his name.
It's John something. It starts with a T. It's like God dang it, make me look it up now. I don't know. You know, this is probably me being a poor fan, but I don't really know much else that guy's done. I think he is since passed.
That did The Predator?
Yeah.
Or did, well, hold on, we got to say Predator. Let's see,
Yeah,
The Predator is the new one. John Thomas, I think. Was it not John Thomas?
No, it's like Thatcher or, let me see.
I think it's Hanks.
McTiernan.
No, it's John Hanks.
Slippy, Slappy,
Samsonite.
I was way off.
Boy, the guy that did Predator here, That's like all he's done is Predator. And he did worked on Wild Wild West. Gosh, I didn't realize that had such a terrible IMDb score. We just watched that the other night. Dang it, that's not it. It's John
McTiernan is the guy that directed it.
Well, this was.
Oh man, he worked on Die Hard. I didn't realize that.
Hold on, I know who it is. He wrote Red. He was the dude with Red Dawn. John Milius is the guy that I'm thinking of. See, this is who they based the guy that John Goodman plays. See, he looks just like him.
Oh, okay.
But John Milius was like freaking, and he did Conan the Barbarian, Jeremiah Johnson.
Oh, you mean that did like the musical score?
No, he was the writer or the director. Yeah, he was the writer because he was famous for his lines. See, Conan the Barbarian writer, Jeremiah Johnson, Apocalypse Now, Red Dawn, Twilight Zone. Like, he's done a lot of just like the really awesome movies. But he's the writer of them. He was notorious for the awesome one-liners.
See, I didn't even know that. I just knew that guy, John McTiernan, directed it. Yeah, directed by John McTiernan. But it also says it's got other people that were involved in it. Because I know Shane Black, who just did the new Predator movie that was not great. He was in the first one. I think he's the very first guy that dies.
Oh, he did what on the new one?
He directed the new one.
The brand new? There's a new one out right now?
Well, it came out like a year or two ago. I think it's called The Predator.
I saw that on here when I was looking, but I didn't know what that was.
Don't waste your time on it. It was disappointing.
Well, now, you know what was disappointing to me was Predator 2.
I like Predator 2. Now, it's not as good as the first one, but you compare it to all the others that came after it.
It's better than the others.
But
yeah.
No, I don't dislike Predator 2. I like it. I mean, I like Danny Glover too, though.
You got to have Arnold in there.
Yeah, no, I agree. Nobody's replacing Arnold. Like, they're not going to come in and do another movie without Arnold and it be as good. But I like Danny Glover. I think he did a pretty good job with it.
I like Danny too, but yeah, man, it's just, I don't know. If they had Danny and then also had Arnold in there.
Yeah, if Arnie comes in at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that would be good. All right. Well, then I guess you can probably figure out my number one.
I would have thought it was going to be Commando, but now I'm kind of wondering, is it First Blood?
No. It's Terminator.
Oh, yeah, should have known. We literally just talked about it.
No, now, again, these are not, I don't have mine in chronological order. So, again, the Roadhouse, Commando, Braveheart, Gladiator, Terminator. Like, those are just the top five. Those are just the top five. Yeah. Like, now Terminator, I love the Terminator. I've seen it 100,000 times as well. I mean, I have many friends that are police officers. I have nothing against police officers, but the scene when he
does like, annihilate some cops in that movie.
Yes, when he comes back, when he tells the guy, I'm here, I'm a friend of Sarah Connor's, and he's like, she can't see anybody. He's like, I'll be back. And then comes back and just slaughters like 25 police officers. Have no hard feelings towards police officers, but I love that scene.
That is a badass scene.
Man, it is. Like that whole movie. And even as a kid, like, there was a lot of elements to that. Again, it could fall in the sci-fi category.
Yeah.
But it used to scare me when I watched as a kid, because when he...
Me too.
Dude, the part when all
I loved it, but it scared me at the same time.
Yes. The last probably 15 minutes of that movie used to be terrifying, because when the truck crashed, once he starts getting like tore up,
yeah,
he starts looking pretty scary.
Yeah.
For a kid. Again, it's kind of funny. My mom is a good woman, and she like really monitored what I was playing and stuff, but she probably didn't quite, I don't know that she took the time to watch the Terminator to exactly realize what I was watching.
I'm pretty sure I watched the Terminator movies with my parents.
Yeah, I probably did with my dad.
Yeah.
But mom probably didn't, because that one, like, there was a sex scene in there, so that's probably one of the first exposures I had to that. Sarah Connor and Reese.
Yeah.
Kyle Reese, and then couple of F-bombs in there. But
I sent you a gift.
The
one of the best parts of that movie, I think.
Well, you got a dead cat in there. But when he's in the big truck, like I can actually visualize it in my head right now. It's after he's been run over and he's in the truck chasing after him, and you can like see him away, and it's pretty impressive for the time that movie was made.
The special effects in that movie were incredible for that time period.
Yeah, dude, like you can still watch it and it's not like cheesy.
It doesn't look terrible.
And Arnold's like half his face is like the skin is kind of tore off, but like the part that used to creep me out, man, was when he blows the truck up and like they're embracing, like for some reason they couldn't go away and embrace. They had to embrace like right where the Terminator cyborg from the future was trying to kill them. And
I guess they thought he was dead or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. like we won.
Yeah, and like they're hugging, and then all of a sudden you see this thing like rising up out of the fire, and it's just this freaking. I mean, that was a really menacing looking cyborg.
Oh yeah.
Like, so that one, I don't know, man. Even
hey, I'll add to that though. You were talking about like musical scores in movies that are really good. Terminator has like fantastic music too. Like you hear it and you immediately know what it is.
Terminator does, man.
And I could probably listen to that like during a workout and be like pumped. That
I think I've got it on the workout.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
like, that's like iconic music.
I think I've got it on my like little workout thing because I've got Apex Predator from Predator.
Yeah,
like that song, but I think I've got the Terminator one because it's a great workout song. The music is awesome. I would play a little bit of it if we wouldn't get flagged for like the copyright stuff. But yeah, man, Terminator. I mean, and there's the first one is not near as heavy. Well, I say that. I was going to say the first one's not quite as heavy on the one-liners, but it's actually got quite a few as well.
Yeah, it's got like some, probably Arnie's like number one-liners. Because no, we said Conan was his breakout role, but I think Terminator was like his next big thing that like blew up.
Yeah.
But no, he's definitely like some of his career highlight one-liners are probably from that movie.
Yeah, I like when he goes in the, I wish all gun stores were like they are in the Terminator though, because he goes in there and he's like, I'll have the Uzi 9mm, and it's already like fully automatic, and he's like, yeah, sure, pal, here you go, and like he's like getting all these like insanely illegal firearms. Yeah. Like
that's some Hollywood.
Hollywood
liberalism there. Like, oh yeah, all these guns that are super illegal, like no background check, whatever, just buy them.
Yeah. Give me the M60 belt fed over there. I'll take it with me.
I'll take that Barrett 50 cal.
Yeah. And a couple of rocket launchers while we're at it here.
Let's go ahead and mount that Ma Deuce to my Prius.
Yeah, like it. So that is one thing. But I will say, too, I don't know if people have ever noticed this. Arnold does not blink when he shoots.
I haven't noticed that.
And, Arnold trained with firearms so much. Like, if you watch a movie, you can usually kind of pick up if an actor has actually handled firearms a lot. Because if they shoot a gun and you notice them like hint to flinch, like they blink a little bit when they shoot or something like that, then they have not handled firearms a lot. Arnold shot so much that like in preparation for that,
used to it.
Yeah, he didn't even flinch with the gun. Like, I can't remember. Well, it's in that one when he's on the motorcycle and he's running that lever action shotgun.
Oh man, that's like one of my most favorite parts of that movie.
It is awesome.
It does the flip reload.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and that's what they talked about, how much he had to practice to get that down. I mean, like, Arnold was a beast, man. So
yeah.
The Terminator is my number one, and it's on my list. That might be the number one for me. And when it comes to action films, like in a total list of 5, Terminator might be my number one.
Yeah.
Super iconic.
That is a iconic classic movie that probably most people have seen.
Yes. Now I'll give I have 3, and I could definitely have a way more. I've got 3 honorable mentions that I'm going to run down.
I've got 3, which I kind of had 4, but we talked about 1, which was the Patriot.
Yeah.
So I'll just nix that one, but I've got 3.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and give my 3. And one of them you're not going to have expected.
All right.
This is a movie that I actually had forgotten about. And then whenever Marcy and I had the twins, and we'd have to get up to feed them really late, like at 2 o'clock in the morning or something. We'd go and turn on the TV because we'd sit in there when we were feeding them. And, you're like a zombie, like sitting in there, like trying to feed them, like barely awake. And then you'd have to kind of burp them and get them back. So it was 30-minute ordeal or longer.
Yeah.
And so we'd turn the TV on, and we had it on like Pluto or something where it was the free TV.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie came on. For some reason, it was on a lot at like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I really like it. And now it's actually earned like this nostalgic feel for me. It kind of takes me back. And that is Universal Soldier.
Universal Soldier.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I don't know that I've ever seen that movie.
Oh, man. Dolph Lundgren and Jean-Claude Van Damme. They're like these hybrid soldiers that are made. And actually, I think Kurt Russell's in Soldier. But Jean-Claude and Dolph Lundgren are kind of like these hybrid Universal Soldier
Super
things.
soldiers,
yeah. And Sean, they try to get him to like do something like I can't remember, kill like a good person or something. He won't do it. He kind of goes rogue. And Dolph Lundgren's like the baddest like Universal Soldier. And he's like, they're tracking down Jean-Claude. And it's just this epic like 80s action. You need to watch Universal Soldier.
Out. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I know of it, but I've never seen it.
Well, it's worth watching. Check that one out. The other one is, I got 2 more. Second one is Rambo. I did have Rambo First Blood.
Rambo was going to be on there.
Yep. Rambo First Blood. Pretty self-explanatory. I enjoy Rambo, but I'm not a Rambo fanboy. Like, I like it.
Same.
Yep.
I like it. If I see it on TV, I'll watch it, but I'm not a diehard Rambo fan.
No. Like, and I like Stallone a lot.
Yeah.
Like his movies, I could name several of his, Cliffhanger. I just recently watched Judge Dredd, like the old one. I watched it the other day.
Judge Dredd is good. I've seen that.
Yeah, that one.
I haven't seen the new one, but I heard it was actually kind of good.
Yeah, it's not bad. I did watch it.
Yeah, I heard it was okay.
You have seen Cliffhanger, haven't you?
I have, but I was probably 9.
Oh.
It's been a long, long time.
Yeah, you need to watch it again. I watched one fairly recently with him called, like, See You or I See You or something. It was he's a detective and he's gone to like this, they've sent him to this, like trauma, PTSD isolation camp thing for people to try to get better. And they're locked in this like very desolate place and people start getting murdered in it and they're trying to figure out who it was. I watched it recently. It wasn't bad. And my last one is Total Recall.
I thought about Total Recall. that one kind of lingered in my head when I was making my list. That's a good movie too.
I love
that.
Total Recall.
Like over the top 80s action movie.
It is.
It's good though.
It is. It's got that one has all the elements as well.
When I was young and like the scene at the end when they're on Mars and like the atmosphere's killing them,
their eyes are bulging out and stuff.
Used to like terrify me when I was a kid. Now I see it, I can't not laugh at it.
Oh yeah,
because you get the typical Arnie yells like,
yeah. Oh yeah, they look hilarious. Yeah, their eyes are bulging out and like, yeah. But I love Total Recall. I mean, and all those, man, like that whole time era. Like I said, The Predator, Commando, Total Recall. I don't know.
So you said you were going to try not to go overboard with Arnie, and I was like, it's hard not to.
It is. Well,
he was in so many movies.
Well, before you share yours, then my thing is, and I feel like we'll probably agree here, the most iconic the most iconic action star of all time. Who is it?
Arnie.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard people argue and say it's Stallone. I'm like, no, man, it's Arnie.
See,
Arnie was in like a billion movies in the 80s. And Stallone might have been in more, but Arnie's were ranked higher, like, in general. Like, most people know the movies that Arnie was in.
Yeah. Well, and I think, because, that's what I wrote. I wrote Stallone or Sylvester versus Arnold. I mean, Stallone obviously has a ton of credits, but they're all, like, the same. I mean, you got Rocky 1 through 47, and then Rambo 1
Rocky
through 18.
In the nursing home.
Yeah, like all the Rambos, and again, I'm a Stallone fan. I like the Rocky movies. The one where Rocky 4 is my favorite when he fights the Russian.
Yeah.
I mean, he beats the juiced up Russian.
Just to play devil's advocate, you could probably make an argument for Stallone in that and say that he had the more iconic characters, which you could give him that, like Rocky and Rambo, like those are two pretty iconic characters.
But that's only
I'd
two.
say that most people have seen that movie.
Yeah, but
those movies.
But if it came down to who's played more, Arnold's done the Terminator, Conan. Like, people know the Terminator, people know Conan, and I'm not going to say Total Recall, because that's still, there's a lot of people that had never seen it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Terminator, but most people know Predator.
If you haven't seen Total Recall, there's a chick with 3 boobs in it.
There is. Yep. And so isn't it Kung Pao? Or she got 1 boob?
I think it might have been 1 boob.
Mo, what is her name? Moog, or she's got some weird
I am bleeding, making me the victim.
Leap that wall if you're so great. Kung Pao.
Man, that is a great, terrible movie.
You know the guy that wrote Ace Ventura?
No, I didn't.
Yes. Yep, he did. All right. So we both agree Arnold is the action man.
Arnold is, I would 100% say Arnold. Arnold was the 80s action guy. With Stallone in a close number 2.
If Dutch and Rambo found themselves pitted against each other in a jungle, you think Dutch would pull it out?
Dutch got that.
Yeah.
Dutch took on an extraterrestrial that hunts people for fun.
All right. Yeah. There's really not I was going to say, like, and the odds just kept getting worse.
Oh, I'll add to that too. So both of those movies, they have like the iconic, like, yell off in the distance or whatever. Whose was more iconic? Dutch's when he's like raising the torch.
Or
wins.
which one is Stallone's? You talking about when he's like yelling Adrian?
No, and Rambo, when he's got the M60, whatever, he's like the.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. I gotta give it to Dutch, man.
Yeah, Dutch has got the yell too.
He does, and I mean, yeah. Now Stallone, again, no hate on Stallone.
Now, I'm not knocking Stallone. I love those movies and they're great, but I just think Arnie was better.
And Stallone, and I'm gonna go off in the weeds here a little bit. All right, Stallone and Arnold. It's kind of cool to me to think. Back in the day, I mean, they both were rock solid Republicans. So like, these guys were like fans of firearms. Arnold did, like, one time, I think, even owned a tank. Like, he was like,
probably.
Like, I think he owned a tank. And so these guys were like, they're pro gun. Unlike a lot of the action stars, like, I'll tell you one I can't stand today. And that is Liam freaking Neeson.
Yeah. Taken was on TV the other day and my wife was watching it and I was like, I almost don't even want to watch this because that guy drives me insane.
Can't stand him. He did the movie A Walk Amongst the Tombstones or Graveyard or whatever it is. And as soon as he finished the movie, he did like a press conference and he was like, no one should own a gun. Yeah. And the whole movie, he's like a gun wielding, like killing
murdering
machine.
people left and right.
Yeah. Like I refuse to see it, but that's the whole premise. And like one of the company that supplied the guns to the movie actually wrote in, like, they contacted whoever and were like, any film Liam Neeson is in, we will no longer provide firearms for. And that's what I wish
more people would do. Yeah.
Like, I wish when one of these dumbass, like, celebrities that's like, well, I hate guns and bastards. Like, I wish when they would be in a movie, they'd be like, all right, you're going to have to use, here's the, like in the Other Guys, when they give him the wood gun.
Gator needs his gat, you punk ass bitch.
Yeah. That's what I wish they would give him.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, man, hey, look, we get it. You hate guns, so you can't use them in your movie.
Yeah. See, I'll kind of add to that. That's, like, I think John Wick was a good movie. Like, I love the action sequences and that, but that is something that really kind of made me like the movie even more is like you saw the clips of
Keanu.
doing all the training and stuff. I think he was at Terran Tactical or whatever.
Yeah, man, he's
like he was out there running the drills and stuff. You're like, man, I really appreciate that guy that like he went that far into the role, and he actually, like you were talking about, these people that don't ever handle guns do these movies.
Yeah,
like Alec Baldwin.
He did not pull the trigger. That gun fired
on its own, because they do that so often.
Yes. No, Keanu is definitely... John Wick could easily be on the list. I mean, that is
no,
like...
I love those movies, but I will definitely say part of that is just because I liked Keanu as a guy personally, and I appreciated that he didn't let all that bullshit politics get in the way.
Yeah, he is nasty on like the 3-gun, like the
Man,
videos of him running.
He ran that course.
Yeah, he's legit. All right, so to recap for me, and then we'll jump into yours. My top 5 in no particular order: Roadhouse, Commando, Terminator, Braveheart, and Gladiator, with 3 honorable mentions: Rambo: First Blood, Universal Soldier, and Total Recall.
Great movies.
Very testosterone-packed list.
Definitely, yeah. It was an estrogen-packed list.
A beautiful mind.
So I guess I kind of already gave one of my honorable mentions that was Die Hard. I included that with Josie Wales.
Yeah.
So I have 2 more, and there's one I'm going to say for last. But my next one, not quite your typical action movie, but Jurassic Park.
Okay.
The OG Jurassic Park.
Yeah, we just watched it recently.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Which I like the new ones with Chris Pratt, too.
Yeah, because Chris is awesome.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
That's also an actor that I like his movies more because I like him.
Yeah.
But I love the original Jurassic Park. I got my kid into watching that because he's obsessed with dinosaurs now, and he loved the part with the T-Rex with that iconic roar.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you want to talk about like a legendary soundtrack that like anybody will recognize. The Jurassic Park theme song that's iconic theme song.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, we're actually showing Emerson and Levi and them because the new Jurassic Park World Dominion or something.
Yeah, Jurassic World Dominion.
It comes out here pretty soon, and I think we were gonna try to take the kids to see it in theaters. And
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm getting them up. We actually just watched the 3rd Jurassic Park, or maybe the 2nd one. I think we're on the 3rd one now. The one we just finished had Vince Vaughn in it.
Oh man, I guess I remember Vince Vaughn being in it.
Yeah, I think that was the 2nd one. So we're up to the 3rd one. We finished the 3rd one, and then I think we start the Chris Pratt ones.
Yeah.
Which I tell you a thing on Chris real quick. The Terminal List starts.
I saw that on Facebook earlier that the Terminal List was fixing to come out.
I think it may be in like June or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Man, I hope Amazon Prime does it justice. Jack has been helping out, so I'm hoping that it will, because that's a bad to the bone. I don't know. Did you ever listen to those or read them?
No, I need to. That's on my list. I know you were talking about audiobooks earlier. I was going to say, like, I need to get those and listen to them. I haven't done it yet.
They're super awesome, but it's going to have to be. I was glad when Prime picked them up, because
Prime will at least not cut out all the gritty stuff.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it's not like his books are not sexual. Like, there's not, like, if there's sex scenes in there, then that's like Prime just fudging them up a little bit, because
but they are extremely violent.
They are extremely violent. I'm pretty sure it's the 2nd one. He actually goes, like, one of the guys, and he does this like Native American torture to this guy, where he takes this dude and he cuts his stomach open and makes him wrap his intestines around a tree while he's still alive. Like, he has to walk around a tree, like unraveling his intestines around this tree.
I think you told me about that a while back.
Probably because I was like, man, I've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, I do it all the time. Someone cuts me off in traffic or doesn't use their blinker, I just track them down
and make them wrap their intestines around a tree.
Yeah,
Yes.
I make them do it around the turn signal stalk so they know where it's at from now on.
Yeah. Well, they were out of blinker fluid.
Yeah.
All right. What's your last honorable mention?
I saved this one for last so we can have our debate. Yes. Pocahontas.
All right.
Or Avatar, because they're the same movie.
If it's Terminator 2, you're wrong.
It's Terminator 2. I like both of them. I love the first Terminator, but I think it's just a nostalgia standpoint because the Terminator 2 stands out to me more from my childhood, but I'm a Terminator 2 fan.
I mean, I like them. I like all of the Arnold Terminators, even when they get later and ridiculous. But like,
yeah, no, we quit counting them after 2.
But I like the bad Terminator.
Yeah,
I'm more of a fan of him as a bad guy.
I've had the debate at work, and it was kind of funny that I picked up on something because it was a ton of dudes I work with that were all talking about it, and it was like pretty much everybody over 40 was like the first Terminator's the best.
Yeah.
And it was like everybody under 40, it was like the second Terminator is the best. Which, like, you could see the generational difference in the two.
So then what's my problem?
I don't know. You're just dumb, I guess.
So why is it better? Tell me. Convince me.
I don't know. It's like I said, it's a nostalgia thing.
Well, that's not convincing.
I don't need to convince you. I'm already convinced myself. I don't know. I just like the second one. I like the one-liners. I like he's up against a more improved Terminator.
But he's always up against a more improved Terminator.
Yeah, that came out. The second one was the first to do that, though. He was the only Terminator.
Because he was the Terminator.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like the Predator being a good, or not Predator, the Terminator being a good guy.
You like it when the Predator's a good guy?
That's never happened.
That would be an interesting movie.
He's just straight ripping spines.
Yeah. No, man. There's the bad Terminator's my favorite.
I like the bad Terminator. I just like the second one more.
Like I don't know. Like I mean,
I am in a minority on that opinion.
I don't know. I think that but like a lot of people do like the second one better. I mean, Joe Biden is also the president. So like there's a lot of wrong people out there. Like
now that's fair.
See, so there you go. You gotta evaluate.
Yeah, but how many people mailed in their opinion on Terminator 2 being the better movie?
All of them.
All of them? Okay. Well, that makes sense. That's how we got here.
No, man, yeah, I don't know, Terminator, the first one, like, and I do enjoy the second one, but yeah, it's just something about him being the bad guy. And like Arnold, I'm pretty sure that's like the only movie where he's ever played a bad guy because he hated playing a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like he talked about that in his biography.
No, I'd heard him say that, which I think there's a part of me that's why I like the second one more, because I just see Arnie as the good guy. It's weird to see him as a bad guy.
Yeah. All right, I got a cheesy one for you here before we wrap it up.
All right.
Did you ever see The Last Action Hero?
Yeah. That actually, like, I mulled that one over for a little bit because I love that movie.
I do too. And, apparently it got blasted for, like, being horrible.
See, I didn't know that because that's another one from, like, my childhood that I see it on and I'm like, oh, man, I hadn't seen this movie since I was, like, 7 or whatever, and I'll play it. Side note to that, did you know, I think it's towards the end of the movie when the kid's, like, walking into the movie theater, the guy that plays the T-1000, the liquid Terminator or whatever, like, bumps into him and walks out. He's in the cop uniform.
Okay, I don't know that I paid attention. I mean, I hadn't seen it in so long, I don't remember.
No, I saw a thing on Facebook that was talking about it. Like, he's walking out of the theater and he, like, bumps into the kid and, like, he turns and looks at him and, like, you clear as day see it's that dude.
Really?
In his cop outfit or uniform, like, walking out of this movie theater.
No, that's pretty neat. No, I didn't. I need to watch it again because I hadn't watched. Man, I bet I hadn't watched.
It's been a super long time since I've seen Last Action Hero.
Yeah, I bet it's been. Shoot, I bet it's been 15 years since I've watched that movie.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time.
But that one's a solid one. And then, like, I guess also with Bruce Willis, I mean, we mentioned it. It's a very sci-fi heavy, but The Fifth Element is like a pretty cool one. Fifth Element's
a good movie, yeah.
Yeah. I actually, here's where I will be in the minority. If you said Die Hard was on or The Fifth Element, I'm watching The Fifth Element.
Mm. I I could go either way with that. I like both of those.
Yeah, I prefer The Fifth Element over
It
Die Hard.
honestly would probably be like, which one have I seen more recently? And I'd watch the other one.
Yeah.
Because I do like both of those movies. They're both good.
I also did, like, I mean, and it ain't like there's anything just crazy about her, but I also always thought old Mila Jovovich was pretty hot in The Fifth Element.
I was going to say, I remember a lot of people had, like, crushes on her after that movie came out.
Yeah, I mean, and she's not, like,
nothing just super special about her.
No, but it's just, I don't know, man. She's bad to the bone. Yeah. I mean, she's dressed very risque in The Fifth Element, but
as a young man growing up, that would definitely be.
Yes, it did stand out in my mind.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. So Mila Jovovich. Now, you know, she did the Resident Evil movies. Those were so bad, like so terrible.
No. I think I saw the first one and was like, that's enough for me.
I know, and I think they made like 11 of them.
I think it was like 3 or 4 more. Yeah, but yeah.
They were like, we're going to keep making them to try to get our IMDb total score above 5.
Yeah.
So, man, I think that's pretty good, man. That's been an hour and 5 minutes. You know, I hope you guys have enjoyed that.
And I know I could. I know you probably could too. I'm sure we could keep going, coming up with action movies that we love. Because I did like mull this list over for a while. Like I'd have one, and then I'd think of another one, and be like, "Oh man, I like that movie more." So I'd have to take one out of my top 5.
Tell you one we're gonna do. We said this. If we used one word the most in this episode, it's been iconic.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a list of our most iconic films of all genres. Not on this episode. That's gonna be a later episode. Iconic films, whether it's, I don't care if it's a drama, an action, I don't care what it is. Iconic films, and that's gonna be one. And
that one. That's gonna really take some mulling.
Oh yeah, that can be next episode.
Next
iconic.
Episode. All right.
In closing, one thing I want to add. This is not about action films, but it's about movies. A movie that is insanely overrated that people just offend when I tell them this. I mean, I couldn't even make it through the whole movie. Like, I actually quit watching this movie. I watched like a solid hour. I don't know. I watched the majority, about 85% of the movie, and I was like, this movie is so bad, I can't finish it. Good Will Hunting. Did you ever watch that movie?
Again, that's been one I've seen, but it's been so long ago that I don't remember all of it.
Good.
Yeah.
That movie sucks so bad. People say they like Good Will Hunting because you're supposed to like Good Will Hunting, but nobody actually likes Good Will Hunting. Like I'm convinced. Like
people are just virtue signaling.
Yes, they're like, oh man, it's Good Will Hunting. You have to like Good Will Hunting. That'd be like, I don't know. I mean, like I don't even know what to compare it to, but that movie's so terrible. Like, it is so unenjoyable to watch. Like, I watched that movie and I was like, this movie is so bad. Like, how do people love this movie? This movie sucks. Like, I don't actually believe people love that movie. And like, even in one of the group chats I'm in on Instagram there, somebody was mentioned Good Will Hunting, and I was like, that movie is the worst movie ever made. And they're like, what in the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, no one likes Good Will Hunting. And they're like, everyone likes Good Will Hunting. And I'm like, everyone is lying. That movie is so bad.
I'm gonna I'm gonna do the me thing and throw in something. I know you don't watch Family Guy that much. Have you seen Peter talk about The Godfather?
I don't think so.
It's in like one of the way earlier seasons, but like they're all like making these big like revelations about them. So they all think they're about to die.
Yeah.
They're all making like these big revelations about themselves. And Peter's like, I have one. And they're like, what is it, Peter? And he's like, I don't care for the Godfather movies. And they're like, what? How do you not like the Godfather movies? And he's like, it insists upon itself. And everybody's like losing their mind that he doesn't like the Godfather.
Now, do you like The Godfather?
I like them.
Yeah.
I'm not like the diehard that a lot of people are, but they're good movies. That is a chore to sit through, though.
It is, but I do love the first Godfather.
Yeah.
But I hate Good Will Hunting.
I will say that I don't know that I've ever seen The Godfather all the way through in one sitting.
The first one or like all of them?
Probably all of them. I mean, individually each movie, but they're so damn long. Like I know I've seen the whole movie, but I don't know if it's been all the way through in one go.
Man, I really like The Godfather. In part 2, it's okay. In part 3, it just kind of starts to fall off. I've got the collection. I like them, but I liked those mafia movies pretty good, like The Goodfellas, love American Gangster, and all those. But I will just add, in talking about The Godfather, that Good Will Hunting is terrible.
What do you think of Good Will Hunting?
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Like that. If someone listening is like, how dare you? I love that movie. You're wrong. I mean, that's just the only thing there is to say about it. That movie is so terrible. Like, I would tell you to go watch it to see how terrible it is, but I don't even wish that upon you.
You don't want to wish that torture upon me?
No, I don't. I'm not putting that curse upon you.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
That's right. I'm not putting the curse and the evil of Good Will Hunting upon you.
All right. Well, I'll make sure to avoid it then.
Yeah. Like, if somebody is listening to this and you truly are like really rattled that I think Good Will Hunting, that probably I would venture to say Sharknado is a better movie than Good Will Hunting, like, or Snakes on a Plane, like any of these movies, they surpass Good Will Hunting.
That's pretty bold claim.
If you listen and you think that I'm wrong, I want you to tell me how, because it's weird. It's a weird ass movie, and they just cry and scream in the movie. like I'm watching, like, there's no part of this that's enjoyable to watch.
That is one thing I can't stand in movies, is when, like, I mean, you get people cry in movies, that's people cry, but I can't stand when people just constantly cry in movies. Like, this is probably going to make me sound like a terrible person, but you remember when we went and saw that movie in school, it was the Christian movie, the Facing the Giants. The football team. Yeah. Man, they cried, I swear, every scene in that movie. And I'm like, what grown ass man cries this much? This is horrible.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how Good Will Hunting is. Yeah. It's basically about like a guy that he's crazy or something, and he can't control his emotions, and he's like a hothead, but he's like a genius, but he's an asshole hothead, and he's like,
well, I again probably could be making myself sound terrible, but doesn't he have like or isn't he like autistic or something?
I don't know. He's an asshole. I'm not sure what else he is.
I feel like I remember something like that being like the thing, is he was autistic.
Well, that's something that's revealed at the end, I didn't make it to it because I was like, I can't stand wrong. This.
It's been a long, long time, but
yeah, there was one movie that also just popped in my head when we were talking about that. Now I can't remember what it was, but I mean, I think I was like just so blinded again by my hatred for Good Will Hunting. Like, I'm telling you guys, that movie is so bad. It's painful. Like, it is painful to sit through Good Will Hunting.
Yeah. No.
Now, I don't know. Well, we got a good one there. I think I like the idea of doing an iconic films.
Yeah. I had a couple kind of pop into my head, but I'll
Simon Birch.
Was that the movie we talked about the last episode we did?
I don't know. It's about the midget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Where he saves the kids on the school bus. Yeah. That's a real.
We were talking about Silver Bullet at the same time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Was that the episode that I accidentally deleted?
No. I think that was like the very first one we did.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, Simon Birch. Simon Birch is way better than Good Will Hunting. But what was I going to say? There was one other thing.
Is Kung Pao better than Good Will Hunting?
Kung Pao is better by far, yes. I mean, Kung Pao is...
People that have seen both those movies that you just pissed off.
Yes. I mean, Kung Pao, it's not even a comparison. How much better it is than Good Will Hunting. Like, I mean, I could think of basically every movie ever made that's probably better than Good Will Hunting. Like, that movie, I mean, and I'll credit Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, because they wrote a truly horrible movie and then made their way into Hollywood through it.
Well, I think that's what most people in Hollywood do, is act in a terrible movie and get paid tons of money for it.
But somehow they convinced the masses that this was actually a good movie. like they did a really good job. Like they like, I don't know, they did a great job at selling a terrible film. Like that's all. That's what I'll close my.
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are home pissed off right now.
Ben Affleck's doing what is it, the sad Ben Affleck meme or whatever?
And Matt Damon's going, Matt Damon.
Yeah, I have seen Team America, which is much better than
Team
Good Will
America
Hunting.
is a great movie, and I will die on that hill. I argue with guys at work, and they're like, "That's a terrible movie." I'm like, "You're dumb." Team America is a classic.
That is a great movie.
Matt Damon.
When the guy's in the street, and it's like, you gave up on life, didn't you?
The scene where he's puking is the best.
It is. Yeah, that is a good one. All right, I think that's been a long rundown for us.
Yeah.
But movies, man, we can get into it. Guys, let us know what you thought. If you want us to talk movies more often, this is something that it's very easy to talk.
Because we could definitely talk movies for hours on end.
Yeah, so let us know if you enjoyed these. If you like Good Will Hunting, you're wrong. And let us know how. Like, if you're watching this on YouTube, shoot us a comment, hit the like button, and hit subscribe, and share it with your friends. Let us know what you thought of our list of movies. If you thought of some action films we did not add but should have, let us know. You can go to our website, livingfullyloaded.com. Check out what we're doing. I think you can contact me on there. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure there's a contact. Check us out. You can reach either one of us on Instagram. I'm at lo.hanks, lo.hanks, and you're...
I think it's bmeyer4454.
Yeah. Go on there. Let us know what you thought. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in, and we hope you all have a good one.